Mr. Trudeau, you've mentioned the incident in high school, and we just found out about the photo tonight. Do you want to tell Canadians about any other instances where you were concerned that you were racist or that you had blackface or brownface?
I think it's been plenty. The fact of the matter is that I've always, and you'll know this, been more enthusiastic about costumes than is sometimes appropriate. But these are the situations that I regret deeply.
Is it the only two, or are there more?
These are the situations I regret deeply.
These are the situations I regret deeply.
Whoa, that was creepy, but still not as creepy as this.
No, I don't.
How young?
Sorry, I don't.
How young was the youngest victim?
Sorry, I don't.
How young was the youngest?
Sorry, I don't. How young was the youngest? These are the situations I regret deeply.
Okay, from the top. Politicians specialize in enslaving the masses. That's their job, to see to it that the heavy shroud of deception lays on the minds of the people to such an extent that the subjects of their kingdom actually call them lawmakers, as those same politicians pompously exercise their imagined authority over the rest of us. They make it clear every single day that they are the rulers and we are the subjects. They are the masters in the arts of deception, euphemisms, lies, and emotionalism and fear-mongering in order to dupe average people into accepting and even demanding the chains of their own enslavement. And that's exactly what government is. Slavery. A mind that falsely imagines that a man or group of men has a higher claim over the life and property of the rest of us, that they reserve for themselves, by some pretend legitimacy, the moral right to rule the rest of us, and that we, the serfs, have the moral obligation to obey those rulers or be punished for transgressing their holy edicts. It's one of the most powerful and deadly delusions that has ever fallen upon mankind. So in this technologically advanced age, it continues to amaze me, and I don't know why it does, that people exalt the most dishonest, corrupt, warmongering, perverted control freaks this planet has yet produced in the history of man. And here we sit, in the darkness of imagined legitimate rulership. We are truly plundered slaves to the ruling elites who roam the halls of Washington's notorious district of criminals as they masquerade as protectors and defenders of individual rights. And this corrupt legacy is the hallmark of every politician, king, and priest in every land. The name of the game is control over the slave population. Slaves who are equally plundered by banksters and politicians alike. So when progressive, feminist, virtue-signaling social justice warrior Justin Trudeau gets outed as a racist for painting his face with racist makeup, it highlights the continued insanity and hypocrisy of CIA-controlled, state-sponsored media as they continue to ram trivial practices down our throats. So let's take a listen.
Moments ago, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau publicly apologizing for a series of racist photos and a video showing him wearing dark face makeup. That video shows Trudeau in the early 90s. It was obtained by CNN partner Global News. A reporter received the video from a source within Canada's Conservative Party. Now, Trudeau, of course, is part of the Liberal Party. National elections just weeks away. The photo that ignited all of this is this one you see here, taken in 2001. That was published by Time magazine. This is from a yearbook at the school where Trudeau was teaching at the time. He was dressed as Aladdin at an Arabian Nights themed party at that private school where he was a teacher.
Let me put this into perspective. We're being financially raped every single day by politicians like Trudeau and his Zionist banking buddies, and yet fake stream media wants to direct our attention to a costume party that Trudeau attended 17 years ago. Rights are being stripped, people are being caged and killed en masse, the time and laboring energies of honest people are being plundered, but hey, look over here. Banker puppet Trudeau wore blackface. Ooh.
The other that has surfaced, high school yearbook photo. This was obtained by CNN partner CTV, which shows Trudeau portraying African-American civil rights activist and actor Harry Belafonte in a school play. Today, Trudeau saying he realizes he has deeply hurt people.
I recognize that it is something absolutely unacceptable to do. And yeah, I appreciate calling it makeup, but it was blackface. And that is just not right. It is something that people who live with the kind of discrimination that far too many people do because of the color of their skin, or their history, or their origins, or their language, or their religion, face on a regular basis. And I didn't see that from the layers of privilege that I have.
Althea Raj is Ottawa Bureau Chief for HuffPost Canada and the author of Contender, the Justin Trudeau story, with me now. What's the reaction right now in Canada?
Well, I think it's too early to say at the doors what real people are thinking, but definitely the Liberal Leaders Caucus has been shocked, surprised, deeply disappointed with their leader. The opposition parties have jumped all over this as proof of what they've been saying for months, sometimes years, that Justin Trudeau is not as advertised, that he says he is one thing, he's a progressive, he's a feminist, he's a champion of diversity, but really behind the scenes he's actually somebody different, and that he lacks the judgment to be the leader. And so I think what we saw yesterday really kind of helps support the opposition's arguments.
Let me ask you this. Which neighbor would you be more concerned about? The one who mocked you for the color of your skin and your ancestry, or the one who is constantly breaking into your house, taking your property without your permission, and threatening your kids? Trudeau, just like all politicians, just so happens to be both of those neighbors all wrapped up into one. And yet, the media is only concerned with face painting and promoting accusations of racism. Why? Being racist isn't a crime, but nationwide theft and endangerment is. But mainstream media doesn't want to talk about that.
And that is, we were talking a little bit last hour, but especially for people in the U.S. who may not be as familiar with him, you've covered him for years, really documenting his rise to power here.
His rise to power here.
It does beg the question of a man who has really put himself out there as the champion of everyone, right? I am this woke individual attending multiple events.
Can you even get more shallow in the assessment of an individual and his night and day criminal activities as a politician? Let's focus on the disappointment that he's not the social justice warrior he claimed to be, and conveniently forget that banking puppet masters continue to use him to enslave and destroy the masses.
Really trying to empathize with so many different people who make up Canada. What does this do to his standing? I mean, it's one thing to hear it from the opposition, but, from actual Canadians who are going to be voting, who don't want to maybe look at this through a political lens, this is a departure from what we've seen.
Newsflash, politicians are all actors and hypocrites in the horror show known as politics. Of course people like this aren't always as they appear.
Yeah, and it goes to the question of trust, right? We're in an age where we all want authentic leaders. Is he who he says he is?
You would think naive children wrote this script. Are there really living, breathing people who believe that politicians are authentic leaders, who truly are as they present themselves to be? This mainstream media interaction is the perfect example of the dumbing down of society.
I think we'll find out if voters really make a decision at the ballot box on October 21st based on this issue. And the fact is that a lot of the racialized communities in Canada are in the suburbs, they're around Toronto, they're around Vancouver, and they live in swing ridings that really decide which way the election goes, if it's a Liberal government or a Conservative government. I think the other question is that this really doesn't support Justin Trudeau's brand. And so how will he be seen internationally? That was a question that he ducked at his press conference. Mm-hmm. Will partners want to associate with him? Will he be, the cool kid on the block? Will Melania Trump want to go in for a kiss? Or will he be, shoved to the sides and like, oh, you're kind of a pariah on the global stage? Will that affect Canada's ability to get things done with international partners? And then there's the whole question of just like, him as a person, and we know voters want to connect with their leaders. Mm-hmm. It's like if people thought they were buying granola and they opened the box and they found Fruit Loops. And now he's apologizing for having acted like a Fruit Loop.
Whoa! That sounded to me like a veiled CNN-initiated homophobic slur. Hashtag Fruit Loop haters. Hashtag CNN slams Fruit Loops.
But are you ready to forgive him? And I think that today it was a very fulsome apology, much more, I would say, honest than what we saw yesterday. Is that enough? Or will we be talking about this for the next 4 weeks?
Because we all know that when politicians apologize after being called out, they're always honest. Scotty, beam me up. There's no intelligent life down here. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments section below. Before you guys leave, I have 3 brand new designs in the shirt store. Nobody needs an AR-15. Well, nobody needs a whiny little bitch either, and yet here you are. Against all enemies, Democrat and Republican, and 9/11 was an inside job. You can get any of the over 90 original designs on a shirt, hoodie, or a mug, and every purchase helps me put out more content on this channel. The link for these kick-ass shirts is in the description and in the pinned comment. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.